So since I don't want to like be silent on Scarlet and Violet for like a year, I thought that I should maybe just make a video on my thoughts, a sort of review, not really a review, but more so just my thoughts on the game so far. Because I gotta say that this game, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, is one of the greatest Pokemon games I've ever played, let alone my favorite Switch game so far. So first, the overworld exploration is amazing. Even by the very beginning of the game, once you get your starter and there's still a route that you have to follow with Nomona all the way to the main city, but like you can sort of just go off on your own, just like that starter area, but you actually have a ton of freedom already, which is pretty crazy. And there's like a ton of new Pokemon that you can already get. And what I particularly love is that once you are given your freedom to explore, you can just literally go anywhere. You know, you could just choose to abandon all of the 3 stories and just hop on your little Koraidon or Miraidon and just roll and ride along the wilderness and just sort of explore. And then you're done with the game and you don't even have to play the game. I think when a game can do that, I think it really just brings in the sort of player's choice that can really help amplify the experience. And I'm really excited to see how they perfect this formula later on. I love how even when you do want to take on things in order, let's say, and I mean, there isn't really a particular order, but let's say you want to, you know, take it on normally and you can sort of just figure out how to get to an area that even though you don't have like any other Koraidon, Miraidon new forms unlocked, you can still figure out how to get there and then find out that there was a much easier way. But either way, I like that there's this type of thought process to be like, can I possibly get up this like hill or cliff and see what type of parkour I can do to just get there and then explore an entirely new area. And the fact that there's now optional cities again in Pokemon is like amazing. And from there, I want to go into interior design. Now, there isn't much interior places that you could really go. You can't really go inside many places. But when you can, it is like just some of the best interior design I've ever seen. And the fact that you can still change the camera angle in there always makes it feel like it could be grand, it could be small, like it could be whatever you want. And it always has the sense of grandeur and accidentally went into some type of accent there. Just magnificence. I don't really know what words to use to describe it. It's just amazing. I love the interior so much, and it's so much fun to explore. You know, I love just seeing these tiny little details that they put into the game. These little objects that you can tell have so much care and put into it, because it's not like they just thought of a random object and just slapped it on there. They have to do the research to actually make the world feel lived in and to give it that accuracy. And I just love how everything about Pokemon just feels so lived in. And Scarlet and Violet is no exception. This then brings me to like the cities and character, dialogue, NPCs, whatever, a whole mishmash, because I love exploring the cities. They are so much fun to explore because they have just such great personality to all of them and have such great atmosphere, and the NPCs, everything like the dialogue that they share makes the world feel so much bigger. And I love how you can like take theories out of what they say, and like they have really fun dialogue, especially the trainers out in the wild. They have like really quirky and fun dialogue, and I think it just adds so much character to the series, and I love it so much. And especially how the cities feel so real. Like cities in Pokemon have never felt so real before. Like they may have been visually interesting to look at, but you may have not been able to explore it. But here there are houses on cliffs, there are houses on different like elevations, and you can go on that like Motostoke type of elevator thing, and you can do this and you can do that, and then electronics and the snow town, and it's like, it just all amazing. And I love it so much because it's also unique and it's also Pokemon. The thing about Pokemon, at least to me, this is what I've noticed, is how it's fantasy, but it's not fantasy that makes you feel disconnected, that makes you feel ungrounded. It's a grounding type of fantasy where it's basically almost something that could possibly exist in our real world, but at the same time sort of can't. It's like a parallel, and it helps ground the game so much that makes it feel fun to explore and sort of like similar, like just an ideal place to explore. And I love it so much, and they've really captured what I love about Pokemon and the exploration side of Pokemon so much in these games, and I love it so much. Then we have the 3 stories, and what I love especially is how the entire point of the plot so far, it seems like the purpose is that it all comes back to the Great Hall of Paldea. And what I think is so great about that is that it somehow makes all the stories feel so connected even though they aren't. And I think that's because they started off as connected. They all come back to the school, which probably, again, I haven't finished the game yet, so I theorize maybe that it going back to the school and then the school probably has to do with the Great Hall and probably all connected. But either way, I love how like each story has its own character and charm. For example, the gym leader story, I love Nimona as a character. She's probably one of my favorite rivals in Pokemon so far, and I didn't think so because at first I thought that her design was like relatively blandish, but once in game and actually interacting with her, I feel like her personality is the exact opposite of it, and it's perhaps like one of the most personality-filled character that we've actually had as a rival in Pokemon so far, where they feel like more realistic. Like obviously we've had colorful characters so far, but like I feel not on the same type of level as her, or like more so that they just handled her character differently. And you know, I like the gym battles, like that's, as you know, I've played Pokemon all this time, I obviously like the gym battles, so obviously that's naturally going to be fun, but what I really like is how they actually put an emphasis on the other stories. The evil team, for example, I love how Team Star has like their own story and the flashbacks, and I think it's like so cool how many theories and ideas that can pop up as you go through it. And then you have Arven's story, which is my favorite somehow. I thought that would be my least favorite, and I thought that basically what I expected was that I would like the gym leader won the most, the gym battle won the most, and so far like that's the least. Not that I don't like it, it's just the least story, whatever. So I'm particularly invested in the food one that I thought was like, okay, let's see how they handle this one. And they sure handled it because it's now my favorite story. But either way, moving on, we then have the music. And I said in a previous video of mine of what I wanted to see in Scarlet and Violet. And do you know what I said? I said that I wanted music. Not good music, but a lot of music. And do you know what they did? Did exactly that. Okay, I actually just realized that my wording made it sound like that they didn't make good music this game. No, what I meant is that basically I said that good music wasn't the point that I was trying to make. Obviously make good music, and obviously they did in that. But my point was that I wanted to see variety, such as like in Black and White. And I sort of just left it off there because I was like, it's not gonna happen. And like, I was like, it's pretty selfish of me. And then they just decided to be like, hey, so do you want like 10 different gym leader battle themes and wild battle themes and trainer themes and all of that? And I'm like, yeah. Either way, they really went all out with the music. And that's how my video will wrap up. I sort of tried making it a type of parallel for my best features in Scarlet and Violet video, whatever. You should definitely check that out because you get to see what I wanted in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet right before the release, and now you get to see my thoughts on it now that the game has come out. Spoiler alert, they basically did everything I wanted, but yeah, okay, bye.